Hi Sagittarius, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2015, and what an interesting month. Every year at this time the sun comes into an area of your solar chart which is very expansive, so it's right up your street. It tends to raise the spirits. It's about adventure, it's about exploration, it's about new enterprise, new projects, but there's a huge emphasis on that area this year, so it makes it even more highlighted. And we have Mercury there, we've got Venus there, Jupiter there, and Mars is there after the 9th. So yes, but lots of potential, huge amounts of potential blowing in the wind towards you. And that's the sun is in there until the 23rd. Mercury's in there until the 8th, expanding your mind, you thinking right outside of the box. It's an interesting time because your ruling planet is in aspect with Saturn, which means that this would be a good time to get away from circumstances or people or location or whatever it is, setup that's doing you no good and you've known for a while it's doing you no good, or maybe it's something you've been doing that you think, no, that's counterproductive, I really do have to get myself under control here. Whatever it is, this would be a good time to be doing that. And there's a huge amount of there's a huge amount of potential. Yeah, I said that before, but anyway. So you should be thinking bigger. You should be almost like doing a Google Map zoom out at this sort of stage in your timeline and thinking, okay, how are we going to how am I going to go about this? But you're not going to be on your own, because this is an area of, dare I say it, good fortune. So for some of you, good fortune could be coming in your direction. It's a good time to refresh your mental palette, to just literally get out of the rut of the routine. So it always depends on where we're at when really good transits come along, and some of these, part of this is quite fleeting, some of it is a bit more long term. Which is good, and you should at least look at what you can be doing differently, joining in on something that you wouldn't have seen yourself doing before, or just getting yourself into somewhere unfamiliar, which is, challenging. And then, not in a dangerous way, I didn't mean that, unless of course that's what pushes you, it gives you the buzz. 8th to the 28th, Mercury moves into an area to do with your position in society, longer term plans, your responsibilities in this world, standards that you want to reach, goals that you want to achieve, ambitions that you want to achieve. So even though Mercury does move out of this area of high potential and adventure and new enterprises, there's still a huge amount of emphasis on the area. So you're putting more mental effort into expressing yourself in the best ways you can, and things are likely to be flowing for you, apart from just when Mercury and Venus and Jupiter go across Saturn for about 24 hours in the first half of the month. The second half of the month looks as though it's going to be running along more smoothly than the first half, even though the first half of the month looks okay. And then from the 28th onwards, Mercury's final move for the month, it moves 3 times this month, is when you're going to be in this very progressive phase, and collaborating with others, or joining in with others of like mind in some way, also with friends, kind of group gatherings, that kind of thing. And it could be quite sort of have an unconventional flavor to it, something which is not something you do every day, so that goes on until September. On into September. Now we have Venus along with Jupiter, and apart from 19th of July to the 1st of August, Venus has been in an area which supports relationships with those far away, travel, giving you that real love link, that connection with somebody far away, more travel likely. Or maybe it's not like that. Maybe it's that you are connecting with people on the net who are far away, at a distance more. And maybe people are seeing you and admiring you for your knowledge, your ability to teach and guide. Or perhaps you yourself are doing a course, and this would have been a good time to have been doing that with this long transit of Jupiter. There's up to Venus I'm talking about at the moment, but both of them have been in there. And good time to put the word out across the wider stage on something, plug yourself or something that you've created, something that you want to put out there into the mass consciousness. And also, because it's Venus, probably getting a material reward, and possibly even a good material reward. And if you haven't been getting remunerated properly, then you could just about under this transit really push for it, because if you reached higher and reached out further, you would probably find success. Now, I'm sticking my neck out saying that because there's an awful lot of variables there, but just in a general sense, without looking into all the little knotty details and at the dates and the times, between now, where I'm speaking to you actually is in June, but between August and October, you would probably be successful if you timed it on the right sort of part of the week. Okay, and now Mars is clearing the decks for new beginnings. Mars has been in actually quite an introspective, emotional sort of area, maybe thinking more about the past, maybe feeling things a bit more deeply for quite some time. That's going back into July. In fact, the end of June, Mars has been there. So one manifestation of that is that you need to let go of certain previous thoughts or arrangements or contracts, whatever it is, and clear the decks. And that might be reflected in your outer world. So some of you may be having a declutter. Some of you will be going down the dump, down the car boot sale. Some of you will be looking to get that space so that the new green shoots, the regeneration can come in, because this position of Mars will very much facilitate that. So it's going to be like a spring clean, inwardly and outwardly. This is the ideal sort of situation with Mars there. You could be more aware of the feelings of another or others, and you've got to be sort of gentle, and maybe speak with in a more tactful way. Tact is not Sagittarius' strong suit, but always well meant, even though you do put your foot in your mouth sometimes. But you will find that sometimes you've got to bite your tongue. That's okay. I've got to. It's not like you are opting out, but you've got to find the right moment. That kind of thing. You keep more to yourself maybe during this phase here. Also, you're thinking more about property matters, joint property, joint monies, joint, and that might be shared property or resource or money, but it might also be owed and lent type resources or money or property. So that will be an area where you've got to make decisions, you've got to take physical action, you've got to get things done, and you will be looking for a win-win solution, but also listening with your inner eye and your inner ear. And that one as well. And you'll tend not to want to put all your cards on the table with some people, and that would be advisable. So be like the little fox, yeah. Did you know that the third eye has got rods and cones in it? It's a little gland in the middle of the head, and you can actually, they have, dissected them, and that's what our actual eyes in our faces have got, rods and cones. So it is an eye. And then Mars moves. And Mars moves into this hugely expansive area where you can be really reaching out into something fresh and new with huge potential. leaving behind maybe the inner turbulence that's been going on up until the 9th, and also maybe, all that decluttering going on. It sounds like hard work. So this may be the right moment for you to launch into a new scheme, launch into a new cycle, a new enterprise, go on a journey of discovery, Sagittarius, which of course is rather, to your taste, I think. And you'll be physically active in learning through doing, but also grasping certain things and certain details, naughty details, which you hadn't sort of given a lot of consideration to before. Stretch yourself. This is the time to stretch yourself and to broaden your horizons. The sun moves into an area where it's to do with your outer sort of targets, your worldly image, your responsibilities in the world, and that's from the 23rd. The overall idea is to project the appropriate image and be consistent and responsible as you go forwards there, maybe having to deal more with authority figures, the establishment, parents, teachers, those who in positions of power in your world, so-called. And then Saturn, I must just mention, Saturn has come out of your sign for a very short time and has returned to Scorpio. So again, this is the last grand gathering up of all of those loose ends, and to in readiness to start building from the ground up new foundations in your life. And that will be from when Saturn comes back into your sign. You will be doing that harder work, that bringing in those new structures, and it's going to be there to stay until 2017. So it will be this. You're back now into the last stages of this huge, in this cocoon, and this huge preparation within this cocoon that Saturn has been allowing you to do through healing the past, looking after your body more. Maybe that's been one of the things you've had to do during this phase here. And looking after your spiritual side as well more, and doing more inner work, doing more artistic type work for some of you, being more of service to others, very much with Saturn going through there, maybe it being quite, grueling at times. But when Saturn comes out of there from September the 17th, then that will be this beginning of this huge new cycle for you Sagittarians. And those of you born from the 19th of December onwards, or with from 27 degrees rising, will feel this energy the most this month. And then in conclusion, Jupiter, very important planet for you, it's your ruling planet, is has been working very happily out of its own house, the 9th, maybe allowing you to get outside of the routines, get outside of the box more often, or take a course so that you're learning something very, very fresh and new, foreign connections, whatever it has been. It's great vibration for putting things out onto a wider stage, like I've said earlier about the Venus energy. And this is an expansive phase, probably with Venus there as well, traveling with a good companion, or getting to know somebody who can teach you a lot. Probably that's been a theme, and will continue to be a theme until October. But this expansive phase is coming to an end, and we've always got expansion somewhere. And in fact, as I said earlier, this is a hugely expansive time for you now in general. But Jupiter's coming out of there and going into a different area, which will allow you to expand, and new doors swing open in your area of career, your position in life, your image. This means that you could be puzzling over which is the best way to be or to present, or which way to go sometimes over this very long transit. It's a year long. And by the end of the transit, you should feel more established. You've learnt the ropes. You've understood the rules of the game better, and you're clearer about going forward into the next really very interesting area after that. You early Sagittarians born first 4 days, or with about 4 or 5 degrees rising, or born from those of you later, born from the 19th of December, so very early Sagittarians, or those of you born later from the 19th of December, or with from 27 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month, excuse me. And then just a quickie on Neptune. Be careful with the Neptune energy coming at you, Saggies born, particularly the 29th of November to the 2nd of December, always 7 to 10 degrees rising, that you don't become the prop for the family, or there will be a temptation there to sort of sacrifice yourself for maybe to do with the family, to do with property, to do with being settling for less than you really truly desire for them, or for the neighbors, or the community, or the tribe. And saying, to yourself, okay, I know I've got to be of service to a certain degree, but I must not lose the thread of why I am here. And by the way, now what was it I heard? Well, I'm going to say what I know anyway, which is that there's only one person that can live your life, and it's you. And there's only one person that can live the lives of the others that are nearest and dearest to you, and it's them. Okay, we can't do it for them. And that's it. That's it for August. If you know your rising sign and your moon sign, listen to those. And also, this material is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time.